Why don't billionaires just retire? To them, it's fun to work, it's mentally challenging and engaging, and it puts them situations where they can meet friends, dominate their enemies, all just a big game to play, and the money is just a way to keep score, but there is much more at play. Part of it is that once you become a billionaire, actually long before that, most of the unpleasant aspect of work are gone. No worries about personal finances, annoying logistics, pissing off the wrong person, sitting in meetings you don't want to attend, filling out paperwork, scheduling meetings, etc. On top of that, little life annoyances like getting your car repaired that can be a hassle when working are handled by someone else. I can see how work takes on a different mood when the worst parts of most jobs are irrelevant and the hassles of your personal life are handled by someone else. I worked closely with two self-made billionaires. You have to understand these guys aren't even remotely normal. They are very driven people, charisma off the charts, absolutely terrifying when angry. One guy I worked for died in a helisking accident. The guy was just a complete adrenaline junkie in all aspects of life. Nothing on earth would convince these guys to hang it up and go vibe on a beach somewhere. I'm not explaining this adequately. You might as well ask a hurricane why it has to get all aggro on Florida. It just does. It is what it is. These two guys are literal forces of nature. At a certain point, for most people, wealth is all about power and not the money. People like Bezos and Musk and others can never get enough power. What we see as their job, executive chairman of Amazon or CEO of Tesla, or whatever they and people like them do, is all about them wielding power over the people in the company, as well as politicians. They don't see it as work, they have nothing to retire from. So many people here are saying it's a drug, it's about power, control, etc. The truth is that a lot of the extremely rich simply enjoy working. I know it's hard to believe, but I've known some very wealthy people who simply enjoy their livelihood. They could retire, but they'd just get bored and would start working again. Because money isn't their end goal, it's power, prestige, ego, obtaining notoriety, sometimes contributing to society, etc. etc. By asking the question this way, you are kind of framing the people who work as executives and CEO as if they are the same as TikTok reality star rich people who spend their lives on the beach. These are not the same kind of people. You don't become a billionaire by having the mentality to relax and retire. People that have the mentality to relax and retire stop working in the millions, they don't keep going to the billions. My firm belief is that for the vast majority of billionaires, they only become a billionaire because they have that mental drive of number must go bigger. Because at some point it is a drug. I have a friend who is a billionaire. He doesn't work because he wants more money. He works because he's good at it and enjoys it. He's a billionaire because the companies he owns have gained value because he's good at being in charge. He doesn't have a huge salary, he pays his people well, and he enjoys his life. It's like saying, why does someone who has finished building a puzzle want to build another puzzle? He built a puzzle, had fun, then built another puzzle and another and another. Just happens that now his gallery of puzzles is worth a lot of money, but he still likes building puzzles. Edit to clarify a huge misunderstanding: a billionaire doesn't have $1 billion. They have assets worth that much on paper. If they sell those assets, they may or may not actually be able to sell them for that much money. If Elon tried to sell 50 billion of Tesla shares, the share price would crash and not be worth a fraction of that, potentially even zero. Most of them are billionaires on paper. The money is tied up in the stock of their company. They have to ensure its success for their financial future. Those like Bill Gates put enough cash and stock in the foundation to work in his passion. Some people have passion and drive. They don't feel satisfied to just have the sports channels paid off and the fridge full of beer. They don't work to live, they live to work. I don't know any billionaires, but one side of my family has a bunch of people who were worth multiple tens of millions or even hundreds of millions by their late 40s, early 50s. They are all the type of people who would get bored sitting around relaxing. They get fulfillment out of doing work and leading organizations. It's a challenge for them and gives them opportunities to meet interesting people and travel around a bit. Some of them transitioned into unpaid nonprofit board positions to get that fix when they retired from their work. Some did paid for profit board work. Some just continued working well past retirement age. I don't think it's about greed, unlike what a lot of people here are saying. They just have very different hobbies than you or me, and their hobbies happen to make them really rich. Billionaires don't sit on piles of cash. Their net worth is an accumulation of both real assets such as a company and speculative worth such as stock shares. You can't simply liquefy all that wealth into actual money. Secondly, very rich people aren't just chasing money. They chase status, access, power, recognition, and accomplishment. While there are some billionaires who are just lucky inheritors, most are inhumane workaholics who get agitated if they go 5 minutes without checking in on their companies and assets. Their assets are their life works. Many are also trying to make it to the finish line of tailoring their companies for their sons and daughters. If they simply retired, most would go crazy in a week from understimulation and paranoia about what is happening with what they created. Anybody with $1 billion can surely enjoy a pretty cozy permanent vacation with unlimited travel and recreation, so why don't they retire? Instead, they keep working and accumulating more wealth. Is screwing the rest of us over that pleasurable, or want they be fully satisfied until they have all the wealth instead of just most of it? Most billionaires aren't in it for the money. They are doing whatever they do because they are absolutely obsessed with whatever business it is they run. The money is just a side effect of doing what they are ultra passionate about. It's like a professional athlete who's clearly past their prime, but loves the game so much they keep playing long after they passed their peak and achieved everything it's possible to achieve. Most of them didn't become billionaires out of laziness. Because past a certain point, more money isn't about material goods. It's about power in society. If they retired, they wouldn't be exerting power in the same way. Taylor Swift, billionaire. She gonna stop singing? No. Did she sing with the end goal of becoming a billionaire? No. Jay-Z? Same. Paul McCartney? Same. Andrew Lloyd Webber? Same. Most people who become billionaires because people enjoyed, wanted, or needed the IP or product or service. The leverage of that product or demand for that stock if a public company created a revenue stream that allowed them to become billionaires. Few people become billionaires by working per se. They become billionaires because they create a product that people literally demand. Everyone is missing probably the biggest reason here: their work is their livelihood. Why would they want to give up the thing they live for?